All right, well, I believe we are now good to go. And we should be able to jump into game one very shortly. Team Envy and eUnited currently waiting on this. However, make sure you do stick around after this one because we are more or less running the bracket back yet again as we get involved with the Wheel and Deal part of the broadcast. You are not going to miss that. But coming up right now is game one of our series.
Yeah, you got to stay on your toes with the Summer Shuffle. You never know what's going to happen next. Well, actually you do, because we've got a schedule that tells you exactly what's coming at the various parts throughout the day. But yeah, you're going to be entertained. I can guarantee you that much.
Yeah, I've seen how that is supposed to look. I am very curious with what abominations are going to happen in terms of game modes.
That's right up your street, Shogun. Just making the dumbest game modes possible and forcing people to play them.
Hey, Jorius was built in the lab of Shogi Bowls. He is our creation.
And look what happened to him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Best in the world.
Khaled? Nah. Get him out there trying to deal with 10 times boost strength with slow-mo game speed.
What is this from Turbo Pulsar that we've got today? He's always someone to mix up the car choices. I'm really not very good at identifying cars when I see them. I'll need some help from Twitch chat, who are always spot on, just instantly. As soon as you get a chance to, spy Turbo, just let me know what that is. A Guardian. I'm really bad with names. Didn't get that one at all. I wasn't even remotely close to guessing that one correctly.
I'm really good with the battle cars names. That's about it.
Oh, good save by Atomic as the ball spilled near post. Not the worst start here for eUnited. They've had a couple of half chances. And we're going to have to wait and see what kind of Envy we get today. This so far isn't the most connected Envy that we've seen. We haven't seen Atomic flex his mechanical ability, but there's still time, and they maybe have this one game to just warm up and see how eUnited are playing.
Atomic is now going to chase down the other side of the field. Might be their chance to finally set something up. But they do have two different modes, have Envy. They've been shown that they can hit the passing plays on occasion, or on occasion they can just wait for the mistakes. And they got one this time around. Atomic levers it.
I love that from Mist. He's made it difficult for the final defender by putting the ball straight over his head. A quick turn on the wall also, but it is still a miss in defense that's allowed Atomic through in this position. From there, Atomic's always the favorite to score. You need to stop the ball far before it reaches that last edge of the box. Good positioning again by Mist off the ball here. There's some really tough goalkeeping, but he makes it look easy.
And I think that's going to be where Envy shine the most. It's not necessarily how many goals they score. Oh no, you can't be giving that one over, but Turbo will certainly take it. Hit it plenty hard, but still, that is way too easy.
A. Jackson with the A. Lamau goalkeeping there. Not sure what was going on there. Looking like something out of my rank games. Two overheads actually being missed already by eUnited. I mean, it was super easy, game plan for Envy to figure out. Just get the ball up high. These guys are struggling. They can't get these clears.
This is really strange from eUnited. Hawks are obviously unable to take it too far, but no one even attempting, or even in a good position to play. Ajax
again, just off the goal line, awkwardly positioned, unable to attack the ball because it's directly over his head. It's a consistent theme that we've seen for all three of the goals that Envy have scored.
Ajax currently downfield, waiting to see if anything can come over to him, but expecting a long-range pass would be quite expectant at the moment, maybe a little bit ambitious. So, and the rest of Envy running roughshod on this game, might even be able to add number 4. Atomic, that's his hat trick.
Oh, baby, that's insane. Atomic just fakes the pass in field and then dunks it off Hoxer. Crazy read by Atomic, and that's what we're expecting to see from this guy. He is an absolute beast mechanically, but the real big play there for me was the fake pass. He had Hoxer expecting it. Warm-up game, says eUnited in the Twitch.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
It certainly was looking like it in the opening minute, but ever since then, this has gone so against them. Hawks slows down the play maybe a little bit too much. He's managed to take it all the way around.
All right.
That is a very nice goal.
All right, they're warmed up. Very good job by Hoxer there. Turbo and Atomic both just jumping up there, giving us a little bit of an air show, but no contact on the ball. Now look at that synergy though, as they flew past with on the replay there.
Bots have been doing very good air shows recently. They're giving their own attempt to it. Manual. Long way to go though for eUnited. Pass over to Ajax. He's going to go for the net. He is. Atomic just pops it up. Wasn't on target to start with. Atomic will be waiting. Him and Turbo Pulse could be potential passing options. But again, this is happening so often. Whenever the ball is just launched at the orange side of the field, Hoxer and the rest of eUnited find themselves too far forward and cannot react.
Yeah, they really need to look out for these hard hits, and it's something that we talked about in the previous series between G2 and Rogue. You always have to look out for that hard clear when you're playing against G2. If you don't, then you're going to be on the back foot and immediately under pressure. G2 will always follow up a hard clear with a demo off the ball, with a rebound, with some kind of offensive pressure. And that's something Envy are looking to replicate in their own gameplay, and so far it's been working. Although they haven't even needed any follow-up, honestly, because they're just hard clearing the ball on target, and then it's just going in. So United have a very easy solution to their problems. That's just stop letting the ball go over your head.
Just need to sit that a little bit deeper rather than trying too hard to maintain the offensive. Hoxer pops the ball back over to the corner. That's going to struggle to be put back into an offensive position for his team. And with 45 seconds left, they're going to need something special. G2 almost made it happen earlier on. What have United got in this position?
United not really looking too scary at the end of this game. I think after that double whiff from Envy, or the double commit, they just decided, right, let's just take this easy for a bit. We're already ahead by so many goals. Let's just make sure we don't concede another one. And there we go, another easy goal for Mist. This is a good pass initially by Turbo Pulsar, just bouncing it straight down. But you have to point out the whiff on the back wall. It might already be game over, but these are not good signs for the eUnited roster as we go into the next game.
Yeah, having a real tough time reading the match so far, have eUnited. They will be very thankful for the 1 minute they're going to get to figure this out. Are we going to get another one on the board? Turbo shot is off target. They can't afford, let alone 5 goals. You can barely afford to let 2 goals go in with Team Envy. Very good at locking themselves down. We did see one mistake from them earlier on, but that's the point. It was a mistake. Don't expect too many of them.
Yeah, you're not going to get many more mistakes from Envy. If anything, I would expect that this was a warm-up game for them, really, as they have shown in the recent tournaments that they've played that they've got levels. Well, and with this roster in Brawl, they've shown that they've got real levels that they can go to, compete with anybody in the North American region and probably worldwide. They've got the mechanical skill on lock. They've got Turbo Pulsar on their roster, and the good thing about having Turbo Pulsar on your roster is it means that none of the other teams have Turbo Pulsar on their roster. So it's not only making your team better and improving your chances, but you're diminishing the chances of your opponents of winning a world championship.
So far with him on your team, it's kind of almost a coin flip if you're going to get yourself a world championship. And I think for this roster especially, if we look at Turbo's track record, he's already got a fantastic resume, but to take 2 players in the form of Mist and Atomic who haven't had much high-level success, if he can transform this roster into a championship potential team, how much would that speak to Turbo?
Oh, yeah. This would be the ultimate thing for Turbo to prove, and he doesn't have anything to prove. He's won 4 world championships. He's won half of the world championships that ever happened in 5 years now of Rocket League's existence. Unbelievable. Easily one of the biggest achievements, not just in Rocket League, but in all of esports. So he has nothing to prove, but he's still out here trying to prove everybody wrong, and he's trying to prove NRG wrong now for benching him and replacing him with Squishy Muffins. That would be just the ultimate Turbo Pulsar shutdown. Because every other time that he's been off a roster, it's kind of been of his own doing. There's been some kind of control in his side of it. Oh, that just in. Off the bar and away. And still, Envy are creating chances to look at threatening.
When you're talking about control for Turbo, right now it is Team Envy with all of the control in Game 2. It's the midfield, Turbo for the backboard. This is where all the struggles have been happening previously. Fox able to read it this time, but Zero boost. Doesn't seem to matter to him. Tried to go for an infield pass. Nobody around. Atomic did treat it, though, as if it was possible that someone was. A couple of different plays here happening for eUnited, but every time they've got a hold of it, they've had no boost available. So they haven't been able to create anything all that good so far. Ajax to the corner. Might be able to get it infield for memory. Difficult shot to take. Ends up lofting it up high, but eUnited making the most of this. Hoxer, he's put himself really far forward. Triple commit on the goal line. And the follow-up is really late. eUnited will struggle to create too much from this. And Atomic pass off to Mist.
Oh, cheeky.
Envy are out.
Yeah, really cheeky little pop there from Atomic towards Mist, who was making a run down the line. Maybe a heavy touch, though. Gives the ball away to Memory. You know, it's been a game of chances for the eUnited roster. They've had multiple players jumping up for the same balls on several occasions from Envy, and not had that last, player coming in for the follow-up. Well, there's the play we've been waiting for. When a ball bounces up in front of the goal, you need somebody to be going for it. This time Memory will. And Mist with a very awkward looking takeoff there. Wasn't cleared for it, apparently. That's the sort of Farah pre Rocket League summit that we're used to and memeing about at the last BTS event.
Well, this lead might not last too long. What a save. Dropped onto it. Mist and the rest of Team Envy, though, looking to pile the pressure on. They're not going to be able to do so. Instead, it's now 2v1. Atomic by himself does treat the ball with plenty of care as he does clear. Definitely a dangerous situation, but my goodness, what a save. Somehow still at 1-0. Ajax doesn't want to try and take a hold of it. Instead, he's got Memory respawning on the perfect side, or as he almost got annihilated a second time. Envy with Atomic. He's got this in a very interesting spot. Got the bump! And for Mist, he can just slot the ball in easy as you like.
Oh wow, it's Atomic being very difficult in the back wall again. That is a huge bump as he just left it out wide open for Mist. But yeah, Atomic is really good in these positions at the near post, when he's got no angle to work with and no space to work with, really. He's able to create something. That's impressive to me.
It's interesting because he gets the ball in positions that nobody wants to play it, and he uses that to his advantage to say, okay, well, I've got the time now. You see what I can do with it. Envy back up to 1 each, but eUnited looking much better here in Game 2. They've got a lot of players, though, crowded around this corner. I'm going to probably have to give a little bit of space for Team Envy. Turbo wins the challenge. Will be taken over by Atomic. Again, up to the air. Has got Turbo to aim for, but, well, Turbo's car is certainly not long enough to reach that one.
Surely a must-win game here for eUnited. They've looked impressive at times in this second game, making life difficult for Envy in defense, but every time Envy attack, it looks scary to me. Envy just have so many threats on their lineup, and it's not something you can say about eUnited, who need everybody to be involved in a play in order to get Envy under pressure. They don't have that same insane solo ability. That's a good pass though, but it's well dealt with. Passes at that range are always going to be easier for the goalkeeper to deal with.
That touch has really put Hoxer out. Did not look comfortable with it. He's still not looking too comfortable. Ajax will cover. I wonder what the boost situation is looking like. Can they even deal with it? Especially after the whiff ceiling shot. Almost did more damage than contact would have done. Now we've got Team Envy looking to lock down after eUnited did it for so long. Mist backs out, over for Atomic, went for the shot. Might have been better served handing it over to Turbo, who was over on his left. Well played from eUnited. That was the best defensive showing we've seen from them.
Yeah, they did well there. Mist is having a hard time at times in this second game with his takeoff. And not flying off in the right direction, leaving a lot of work to be done. Now that's off the inside of the post. Atomic and a free shot there. You don't want to give him that much time on the ball at that near post area, as we've seen. Another shot coming in. Mist is off the goal line and he's popped it straight up in the air. Atomic with a weak clear. It's available for Ajax. Double touch, miss. And that was a huge opportunity for United.
And they'll be looking back to that if they do end up losing this. Instead, they've got one more opportunity. Ajax flip reset right down to Mist. We are going to be going over to overtime. United looking so much stronger. They need to capitalize on that now. Ajax for the backboard. Turbo had to skirt around the post and the crossbar of his goal. Could have got caught any moment. It's going to be awkward. Memory. He scored the first one, looks for the second. Couldn't get enough venom on it.
Missed, drove around the back corner boost. He made life very difficult for himself with that save, but the shot, like you said, was straight at him. That was another big chance for United. They're not taking many of these huge opportunities. They would, they just need to make it harder for the goalkeeper, in my opinion, to stick the ball in an awkward position. You don't need to score with that touch, just make it very difficult to get a good clear. Envy are finding ways to get out of these pressure positions.
Well, they are very good positions to give yourself a numbers advantage. Missed. Good play to take out one. Hoxer will clear back to the midfield. Turbo wins the race for it. And Atomic right back to where he set up that first goal for Team Envy. This time he is dealt with, but Turbo almost passed it off. And now everyone from Envy has got to scramble back. eUnited can reposition, leaving it for Mist to take the double tap. Was that the right decision? It seems so. Not too sure how many more times I'd be giving him that sort of space, though.
Yeah, Mist just ran out of boost on that double touch attempt. Hoxer's actually bounced into this ball on the ceiling. It looks like there's not a lot of boost for eUnited to play with here on all three of their members. Need that goalie to play well in that position, and Hoxer did. He's been quick as he jumps out to clear these balls and to challenge Envy, who are lurking at the edge of the box, waiting for something to spill loose. It's good defense by Turbo. Always clearing to the side, not down the middle where there's likely to be an opposing team player waiting for it.
Seeing United very happy now just to almost slow down the plays that they're putting forward rather than just hitting it straight over to the Team Envy waiting defense. And that is a double commit. They still have to play well. He is unchallenged. Turbo doesn't have anyone to pass to. Instead launches long again, waiting for those backboard mistakes that have not been quite as forthcoming as they were in game number one. So another challenge. It's going to pop out towards Ajax and Turbo. Turbo can take. Looks to keep the ball moving onwards. Gets a lucky block. And now with two players over in the corner, eUnited trying to find themselves a little bit of space. An interesting fact here, Johnny, is that both teams have been... Oh my goodness, what was that, Envy? Might actually get punished for it. They're put straight back onto defense. Mist makes contact, but from what we're seeing, both teams are not really all that willing to commit that second player forward.
Yeah, it's a long overtime already. Tensions rise. Hoxer has been playing well. That is a miss, though, by him. Yeah, he has made life difficult for Envy. He's been playing very quick and confidently. Breaking rotation to try and keep Envy guessing. Envy have got some space to work with here. They've got Atomic in the corner again as he goes into an air dribble off a shot somehow. Speaking of air dribbles, missed with a big angle change, but Ajax is right there with him. Envy are circling though. They've got players on both sides of the field, so every time that it goes left, there's someone there to put it back into the middle, and right, it's the same thing. United need a way out.
And they've stolen all of the boost of Envy. Hugely difficult position for eUnited to deal with, but deal with it they have so far, but it almost feels like it's a waiting game as to when that one big opportunity for Team Envy is going to come. Off the backboard, Turbo could not follow his first touch. Instead, again, into an awkward spot. Ajax looking for Hoxer to help him out, and that is a massive block. Finally, eUnited able to escape. It might only be temporary, and it might almost reopen the field a little bit too much. Everyone clattering into that corner. Turbo seems like he's the only one out of the 6 players that didn't want to head over.
Yeah, Turbo just staying calm, staying composed. He's, like I said, been here so many times before. He knows how to bring the A game in these high-pressure moments. United have had all their good chances earlier on in the game. It's been a while since they've had a clear-cut opportunity.
I feel like you can say that for both teams, though.
Ooh.
So they're both struggling. Ajax got one block, almost managed the second, much more decisive one. Oh, as we head towards 5 minutes, Atomic, that is huge, and straight down to Hoxer. A little bit more angle, and you really get the feeling that Hoxer wouldn't have stood a chance. And both teams, after that little flurry, looking a lot more confident. Missed. Can't add the angle to try and set up Turbo. Instead, Atomic looks to take it. And this overtime, much more lively all of a sudden, especially from Team Envy.
And Mist has just ran out of boost in a lot of these aerial plays. He doesn't have just the last 12 or so, or 20, to reach the ball and do what he wants to do, get that last touch on it. Not the most efficient game by him. But Envy have overall looked the scarier team. There's no denying that. Earlier on, eUnited had several opportunities, but they weren't able to put them away, and now they're very much struggling to create anything, except that one little double touch at the near post from Ajax. Good interception there by Memory, though. Reading exactly what Envy had planned. But Envy, they're just playing quite comfortably right now. Not sure what that was by Miss, though. Just gives it straight away to Memory. And now a big chance for Ajax. He's missed as it bounces into the corner. Turbo closes down the shot. Such a long overtime here. Both teams are giving away possession pretty freely.
Yeah, it's just a lot of boomer hits. Missed. Wants to try and force Memory into a challenge. He still gets past him somehow, and he's beat a second player. Now off the backboard, Ajax will be by himself. And he gets away with it because Atomic has handed him the ball. Turbo will miss. It's over to Mist. He does have Atomic in the midfield, who will take it. Very difficult ball to follow. Instead goes underneath Ajax. Looks to go over the top of Memory, and now Hoxer all by himself. Mist chooses to take the 100 booster from the corner, which means Hoxer has to play this well. Otherwise, he is going to keep his team stuck in their side of the field, and that is exactly what has happened. This is all down to Envy now. They've just got to keep stealing boosts, slowly suffocate the opposing team, and wait for that one big opportunity. After 6.5 minutes of overtime, we are still waiting for this goal. Mist does have a couple of options. Turbo moving in, puts the ball up high. Ajax has got himself plenty of boost, but I get the feeling that he might be the exception on this team. Had to make contact on the challenge, and Mist will get it past.
This is much more like it from Mist, who's not been playing too well this game with his final touch on the ball, very often missing the last contact that he's looking for, whether it's a double touch at the end of an air dribble, but that was absolutely perfect. A really great strike by him. And, you know, defensively, Envy looked pretty solid. They don't look like they have many gaps to exploit. The only one thing that I have seen a few times is these double commits, and the communication maybe is something they could improve on going into the next game. But eUnited, they're lacking a killer instinct. They had a great game there from Hoxer. A couple times he's alone in defense, and he just stayed very calm, composed, took the ball under control, gave everybody else time to come back. But apart from that, they don't have many highlights in this game. They don't have these big solo plays to carry them through a tough, close game like this one.
It has been a very, not slow pace, but it's definitely not a quick pace series either thus far. And you do get the feeling that suits Team Envy a lot more than it suits eUnited. Yes, we've seen a couple of rotational mistakes from Envy, but that's been happening when eUnited have been able to increase the pace of the games that we've been seeing. And when that's not been happening, Team Envy do look very comfortable. eUnited have got to, we say this a lot here as well, Johnny, but they've got to throw something at this. If they're going to expect to just grind out a rotation and a mistake-based win against Envy, it's not going to happen.
No, and it hasn't worked for any teams in North America, really. The only teams who have success against the top teams are teams who go in completely fearless and really just take the game to them, just start making big plays, really just rely on the mechanical ability as much as possible. That's what we saw for Rogue against G2. And I don't know if that's something that eUnited can do. Do they have, good enough mechanical ability, good enough speed to really try and bully a team like Envy? I don't think so. I think that's why they're going to struggle in matchups like this. They're going to do very well against all the teams they're supposed to beat, but when they play against the big guns, I think they're most often going to be second best.
Yeah, especially looking, I mean, if there was ever a game to be doing it, it was at a game where we did see both teams on numerous occasions have all three players back on either their goal line or on the backboard. And I think we saw 2 infield passes coming out. It's a position that you can make a lot of effect from. I mean, one of them was from behind the halfway line, which you pointed out at the time was always going to be very difficult. The second one, we saw Memory not really catch hard enough to really test the defenders. So even when it is coming off, the shooting accuracy has also plagued them just a little bit. But it is a situation like that you've got to see them in a little bit more. 2 times across, what was that, 11 minutes that we saw them play? it's not a very high ratio when the rest of the plays we saw were, hey, let's get off this backboard. Let's see how it works out after that.
Yeah, we need more from eUnited. They've, had their warm-up game there. Now they've had a couple of warm-up games in one. It's that overtime more than accounted for an additional game in this series. We're into game 3. It's 2-0 for Envy, who were expected, obviously, to win this series. However, I wanted more of a fight from eUnited. I want to see more flair. I want to see them just go for it more often. Take some risks. You're not going to win this series if you play 100% risk-averse.
Well, this is their chance to do so. We've already had one game that seemed very one-sided. We've had another game that could have gone either way. Especially after what a long overtime it was. Maybe United can start figuring it out here. Especially off a touch like that from Mist. Does leave it for Ajax, but it's touched like you can't be doing that, Ajax. He does manage to follow it. But it's a lot of these touches that are being dropped down, not into playable positions, but half volley, easy control positions for Team Envy.
Yeah, it's just a total giveaway of possession with no pressure on it. And sometimes a team will just hard clear the ball, which you could say is giving the possession away, but they'll follow it up with threatening a rebound, threatening a demo off the ball. There will be some kind of follow-up to it. A lot of these hits away from eUnited don't have anything to follow it up. They just hit the ball hard, and then they all do nothing and wait for Envy to make a play.
You always get a feeling that sort of play style, I know we see them two games down here, but with that sort of play style, you're almost happy to not see Justin on the other side of it. You give him that sort of ball bouncing with plenty of boost, he is going to rip into you. Thankfully for them, the only real play that we've seen capable of that so far has been Atomic, who has been mechanically fantastic. Turbo will set up Atomic. Shot is high. Would have wanted a bit better, and now Ajax on the break. Boxer. Not able to get past Atomic again. And now with Turbo, he might have a couple of options, especially with Atomic stealing the 100 boost over in the corner. They'll look to stay around. That is a great challenge from Hoxer, and it's dropped straight over to Memory. Hoxer has played fantastically in that sequence.
I'm very impressed with Hoxer's defense, both in the last game and this one. He just does no fear bringing the ball down and forcing a 50-50, and that's what we need to see from him, and honestly from a lot of teams in the highest level at the moment, where everybody's very much dialed in on booming and smashing every ball that they can. It's great to see a player who just wants to dribble and force the other team to come to him.
That lead definitely did not last too long. Atomic just right over. Atomic has been the provider of many goals for Envy today. So quick, and that first touch baits in the defender. Just to slot it straight past him over to Mist. The kickoff again. This might be a good spot. Atomic waiting around to see what Ajax is going to do. Might be playing it between them, actually. Instead, Mist off the backboard. Looks for the double tap. Couldn't find the angle. That is 3 significant opportunities for Team Envy. They've got 1 goal out of it, but this is not a good ratio for eUnited to be looking at if they want to be taking this game.
United are looking vulnerable with the high ball, just like they were in game 1. I think that's still something Envy could be looking for more often. Just stick the ball up high and see what happens, because you got mistakes to capitalize on in game 1 when you kept doing that. Why not do it here as well? Well, it's also worth mentioning Mist is still having some problems with his double touches today. He's been on point with pretty much everything else, getting very involved, very active, making an impact at both sides of the field. But yeah, the double touches haven't been as effective as they usually are.
There is Atomic. Over to Memory, who read that very quickly. Went for the intercept, but pressure he got for it won't last too long as Atomic gets the ball bouncing out. And Envy are just going back as quickly as they can because they're just waiting for that ball every single time. United do a couple of passes in their own side of the field, but the end result is always the same, a launching clear that Envy have been able to anticipate.
Mist did really well there. Turbo is kind of in his way, but he jumped over him. Kept control of the ball. Big dunk by Turbo now. A bit of a panic from Memory as he takes it to that corner, but there's a double commit from Envy. Atomic is quickly going to recover and make this into a nothing play for eUnited. I mean, it's close to the Envy goal, but where is the goal coming from? You just don't see an opening for eUnited to exploit. You don't see a way through As Envy always have one player left in reserve. Great pass, and look at the shot by Mist off the post, and the defender did not have a chance of getting there. Just trusted that the post had him covered.
And one of these players is going to have to pop in for Envy. That is their fourth. As they continue to mount shot after shot on Team Envy. Atomic on the backboard. Does lose the race and ends up being extra power to put the ball into his side of the field. And Team Envy, even that one from Mist, he was sort of expecting someone to be in the midfield. And that's sort of something you see from teams that are slightly more confident in their team's rotations and where people should be. We've seen much less of it from eUnited so far. Well, their touch is much less pointed. Up to the wall. Good second touch from Hoxer. A standout performance here in Game 3. Definitely what led to his team's first goal. Can he help them get another one, or is this Team Envy's to take off the backboard? It is launched all the way over to Turbo yet again. That's a second huge dunk. Envy looking to put together one more opportunity, and it's going to be Hoxer actually. Right over to Mist, and we have got overtime.
Yeah, there's plenty possession, plenty opportunities for eUnited, but they're so quick to give it away every time. I want to see more passing from them. Envy, meanwhile, you know, they're creating opportunities. It just seems like a matter of time before they score. So they would like this to just continue on. A long overtime is not a problem for them. But will eUnited be able to elevate? Will they be able to find another gear? They definitely need one, not just for this series, but for this tournament as a whole.
Infield pass. Mist definitely did not want to commit, especially with Atomic so far ahead of him. Can do so now, especially with his team heading back. And Ajax needed Hoxer to help him out. Atomic will look to kill the ball. No, instead look for Ajax with another bump. Couldn't quite find him in memory. Finds himself 2v1. Missed the last man back to Atomic. For Turbo. Turbo with no one else to play with. And a shot from the midfield definitely wasn't too well advised. So tried to buy his team just a little bit more time with an awkward angled shot. Envy though, now with their first chance to really mount anything, but no one's facing this ball except for Atomic, and that is not the player that eUnited wanted to see. Missed with Turbo up in support, goes for the shot. Huge save from Memory. There wasn't too much on it, but Memory was still equal. And now Memory will transition to the other side. Missed. Another awkward position for him. We saw that in Game 2 where he was a little flat-footed. This time around managed to sort it out quick enough. End to end, Atomic, huge first touch and almost caught eUnited's defense out.
Envy look threatening. They're passing the ball with every touch that they can. Whenever they've got an opportunity to offload to another blue car, they're looking for it. They're making it happen. It's something eUnited could learn from, as a lot of their touches just kind of go towards an Envy player. That's why we're seeing Envy create more realistic opportunities on net. Some good patient play though by Ajax in the back corner. Double commit into it as Hoxer follows up on him. Miss this time as he tried to work the ball forward. It's a very similar game to the last one we saw. Envy looked the more threatening in what looks to be a very long overtime again.
This is not the play style that eUnited have found too much success with. As the infield pass to Atomic will not be found. They've got 3 players now against Mist. They've got to make this work out. Are they spending too much time getting the setup? Yes, they are. Turbo scrambles back. And with that much of an advantage, eUnited needs to be so much more decisive. Oh my goodness, Hoxer flops the ball up off the crossbar. Atomic had no boost to work with it. eUnited have just need that little bit of killer instinct to take the shot and take this game.
Oh, they're too afraid to lose. They're not willing to just throw someone at this and keep the pressure on Envy. Envy were absolutely out of boost there. Surely now a shot on target. No, it's the crossbar again, and that's just not good enough for United. And it's again, I think, a crossbar. Mist is going to knock it on into it. Well, like you said, where's the killer instinct for United? They're getting so many chances here, but really, no shots on target for all of that time.
It's feels very old school complexity like, doesn't it? As Atomic will win the challenge, and he almost won the series. Follow from Mist. And that is gonna hurt more than anything else could. eUnited should have had this game won. Instead, they have dropped down to the lower bracket.
You know, it's an expected result, but not what I thought we were going to see from eUnited here. Just a complete failure in the final third to make really anything happen in front of the goal. How many times did they have a chance to shoot that ball on target at the end of this overtime? And they just kept hitting the bar. They kept fluffing shots slowly on net. Where was the banger? You know, I want to see somebody just come in and smash that ball on target with some confidence. They really needed that at the end of this game. And all series long, just no killer instinct, like you said.
Yeah, that end one especially just screams to me everyone has seen somebody on the goal line for Team Envy, and they think, all right, we'll put it off the backboard another time, see if we can get them to jump, take them out of the play, when they don't realize you're the third person playing that ball. You are the last chance you have to set up a shot. If you don't take it, Envy are out, and that is exactly what ended up happening. eUnited, it just 80% of the way there. I really feel that 80% of the way towards creating good opportunities for themselves, but they just have to take them.
Yeah, they have to find out a way to pop off, or else they're going to be quickly out of this. They're up against a very dangerous plot twist in the lower bracket. Envy move on to face Space Station Gaming, and very interesting matchup there. It's a tough one to call. It's Envy. I think they're probably going to step up their game when they play against tougher opposition. This is a very weird series for them.
Yes, I will agree with very weird series, but plenty of overtimes for those of you out there that enjoy that. And wow, I can't wait for what comes up next as well, Johnny, because we have got the Wheel and Deal tournament, which for those of you that haven't heard of it before is going to be absolutely fantastic. I could not be waiting for it more. I've been looking forward to this all week. Ever since James spoke to us originally about it, it just sounded very entertaining, and we'll get the opportunity to explain more details about that as it comes up. But I want a quick prediction from you before we go anywhere. Who is going to win the Wheel and Deal tournament?
Wheel and Deal. I think Rogue have a good shot at this one. I think Rogue Space Station, they're to me the most well-rounded teams, and teams that can just figure something out, figure out how to win a silly game mode where there's just a bunch of chaotic situations.
And which team do you feel like is going to be affected the most by this sort of, oh, this is not quite our wheelhouse anymore?
I could see G2 having some issues. NRG as well. You know, obviously these are teams that you expect to be making deep runs in tournaments, but there's so many problems that could arise for them. You know, not having a 1v1 player. You know, do these guys like the randomness with Rumble and the extra game modes? I don't know. You know, there's some things that'll definitely favor them. Boomer mode is, I know, a very popular mode for pro players to practice with. So it's very hit or miss for these guys. But yeah, it's a real level playing field now with no real big advantage for G2 and Energy like there usually is.
Yeah, we've for so long seen so many people say, I wish they brought back mid-season mayhem. This is about as close as you're going to get.
Here you go.
And it's not just, this, and this. Everyone is going to have to pick what they want out there. There's no complaints, so, we didn't get what we want. It's, you have your chance. And that is the best part of it. But looking at today's action, it has just been absolutely phenomenal. We have seen a lot of long series and a lot of overtime, especially just from this series alone. But, I don't know. Which one of the four? Which one of the four was the strongest?
Of all these teams, I would say so far a team that looks most likely to make a run and actually win this whole tournament would probably be, it's a really tough one to say. I mean, before the tournament I said Envy, now I'm leaning more towards Space Station, but yeah, I'll maybe go with Space Station personally.
Okay, well, when we come back, it is time for the Wheel and Deal tournament. We have got through all the regular, and it's now time for the fun. See you very soon, lads.